The Nets picked up Lonnie Walker.
The Nets did?
Yeah. I wonder what they're trying to do.
They got a bad shake.
Yeah.
Kawhi KD situation. They were trying. Literally 1 year ago, they were trying to win a championship. With KD and Kyrie on the roster. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How fast that changes.
AI can now decode human thoughts and reconstruct them through brain patterns. Jeez.
It's scary.
No, they have a new AI app that builds websites completely for you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like it'll completely build the website and you can make it like professional, non-professional, like it gives you all these different styles.
Bro, Threads has the
crazy.
at logo in their word. Is that like a direct diss to Twitter? It feels like THRE, and then it's the at logo. ADS or no? Because
It's been the ad's been around.
The ad's
for
universal.
like, yeah.
But it's not on Instagram. It's just straight up.
Yeah,
it's not at, is it?
Yeah, you.
I thought you
when
just
tag
typed it in.
someone.
Oh, okay.
Facebook is where you just type it in or something.
Yeah,
It's weird.
It is very, because it's like you could just be typing a random word, and if you catch 2 letters of somebody's name.
I'm gonna choose to think that's petty, but.
Are you on Threads now?
But I did. Well, I just saw a notification that it's the fastest social media.
Yeah, 100 million downloads.
100 million users.
Yeah, that's crazy, honestly. For it to go that fast, like that's pretty crazy. And there's nothing special to it.
Nah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. I posted it yesterday. I'm like, I'm just posting music on here. That's it. So whatever I'm listening to, just go to my Threads. Turn that into a music page for myself.
Yeah, it's a little basic right now.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with it though.
I want to see how like videos do on it, like short stuff. They don't got a web. They don't have web though. That's the only thing. They don't have anything web, so it's like, man. Like I had to do those threads all by putting them in notes.
Oh,
and then like copying and pasting, commenting, copying and pasting.
Wow.
Hey, 250, we'll take them.
That's pretty decent.
Lennon, you want to turn on the TV? I mean, I'm still recording.
Yeah,
so
just
it's whatever. Yeah.
There it is. Now it's back.
Check 1 2 check.
I don't know what's going on. All right, we ready to go? Miguel, did you read?
Yeah.
How did you read?
Come on, man.
You did it this morning.
Huh?
Did you do it this morning?
The world will never know.
No
The world
shot.
will never know.
No, there's no
Bro,
shot.
no,
We're bringing it up.
No,
I'm bringing it up.
No, it's what it was because yesterday, whatever. Whatever. It's more Chase's story, so I'll let Chase do it.
Hey, man. Woof.
He said he can't even get
I
through
have
it.
access.
I can't even
I have
respond.
access to this place, guys.
That's true.
I've got access here.
Change the codes.
I'm gonna go check the camera. Miguel's over here laying on the couch reading.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I think do you have your fun fact?
Hmm?
And you have a quote?
Prepared.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to part 3 of the War of Art, Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Steven Pressfield. Welcome back to the
Book Club Bros.
Book Club Bro podcast. That's right,
By
guys.
book 4, we definitely have that down. Guaranteed.
But yes, we've read last week. We read 40 to 80, and this week we read 80 to 120. And we're getting down to it, man. We only got one more part to go, and that's it. And then we're on to the next book. But overall, how'd you guys like this reading?
It's pretty good.
It was good. It was solid.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't have quite as many highlights in this
Same.
section, but at the same time, the ones that I did highlight felt like they
Yeah.
stood
like-
out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good talking points. Like, I don't think this book doesn't have like stuff. Well, it does have some things where you can like sit there and chop it up, but like for the most part, it's just like it'll give you a fun little talking point.
Yeah.
So,
So now, did everyone read?
yes,
Miguel.
We all read.
I definitely read.
Miguel.
I read.
Miguel.
Oh my gosh! They're
Alright.
saying this, guys, because the
This
book
only comes
was
from one guy.
sitting down.
It was sitting in that corner
in this corner
and did
right
not
here.
move the entire week.
Hey man,
I
And
didn't
you
notice
read?
that. I didn't notice that until
I read.
yesterday. But I
I
didn't
read.
notice that
But
until
I did.
yesterday.
I pointed it out,
I
and
didn't
you were
notice-
like, "You're like that book has not moved."
But before you got here this morning,
I read.
the book was not there.
I read.
The book wasn't sitting there this morning whenever I got here. So I don't know.
Did you come back yesterday and
I
get it?
don't know what he did.
Hey man,
I don't think there's any way to know.
the book has been read.
I'll check the cameras.
The book's
That's
been
fine,
read.
bro. It's okay.
He's like,
It's-
don't.
It's read.
It's read. I guess we're gonna
definitely
find
read.
out.
Alright.
He's
Yeah.
just gonna be like reading the page as me and you were talking.
Exactly.
Like,
He's like, "Oh, bro, I had this quote highlighted. It's completely
Hey, man.
blank."
If
all
I'm-
right,
All right, let's dive into
pick
it.
on Miguel hours over. He
Page,
read. he
page
read.
80. Who's got anything first? I got my only first highlight starts at 88.
I'm at
That's my
83.
stuff.
I actually got one on 80 and 81, and then I think I got a break. So
Yeah,
I'll
let's
kick us
go,
off.
let's
The
go.
first one, page 1, on page 80, it says, "The professional has learned better. He respects resistance. He knows if he caves into." We did that one last week. That
Yeah.
was the last one that we did last week, and then we started on 81.
Yeah.
I got one on 81.
Okay.
If you want to hear what we talked about last week, just go and check last episode.
Check the last one.
Check the last clips. All right, on page 81, it says, "The professional conducts his business in the real world. Adversity, injustice, bad hops, and rotten calls, even good breaks and lucky bounces, all comprise the ground over which the campaign must be waged. The field is level. The professional understands only in heaven." So, we're so good, right? I just
Yeah.
heard a little thing in my
Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know
But-
what that was.
I thought this is cool because it's like the field is level, the professional understands only in heaven. So if you're waiting for everything to be fair, for this happened to me, so why is it not happening to them or something like that, you're gonna be waiting until you can't wait anymore because you'll die. Like that's not the way it is. And it says, every single time you get a good break, understand that like in order for you to move forward you need a bad break to level that out. So I mean, if you want to be someone who is expecting fairness, that's why I choose not to look at it that way. It's because anytime you get something good or a good break, you're like, dang, here comes something bad. Like that's, even if that's kind of how it is, if you choose to look at it that way, like they say the professional more so just respects the business, the real world and all that stuff.
That's what happened.
Oh, our camera's off.
We're glitched.
Okay, hold on. I'll fix that.
Hey,
Doggies.
it's all right. I can kind of run that.
No, it's
Run that
okay,
back
bro.
shortly. Or we can do it with no Cam. It's all right. We get to watch him do his little thing. Here he comes, and then we're gonna be back online. Tony Hawk. Bum bum.
That's what that sound was.
Okay, so now we know.
Yep.
Now
Alright.
we know.
Because you're getting kicked out, bro.
It's off again. Here, let me plug it back in. I don't know why we keep turning off.
Here we go. He's spinning.
Oh, it was plugged in. Or maybe I just plugged it in a little further.
It might be. There we are.
We're choppy as ever, though. Maybe it's coming back now.
I feel like that's. Yeah, we should be
Alright, we're
good.
good. Alright. All right, let's do that whole
Some
skit.
technicalities again.
That's crazy.
It's okay.
All right.
That's crazy. We've never experienced something like that before. Yes, we have. Happens often.
I don't think we haven't had an episode where something has gone right, but
Right. Without.
we're back at it. So no, I agree though that quote was, yeah, about being just level-headed and just like, even if you think you guys are even, if you look further enough, like nothing's ever even. So you just got to play with what your strengths and your weaknesses and just move on from there.
Right, because I operate under the, like, I don't want life to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we don't want life to be fair. We just want to be able to live and be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah. And I mean, if everything was fair, then it's like, what are you working for at the same time? Because if there's no. I mean, they do this in a lot of anime shows, specifically Naruto. I don't know if you guys have ever
Hey,
watched Naruto, but
Not really, but
I'm
somebody
not.
else out there has. I promise you.
No,
I've heard of it.
he so his whole achieving thing is he just wants to, it's just like Dragon Ball Z too with Goku. They just want to get better. And like in Naruto they always talk about how you have to have competition. That's the only way you can get better. So I think of that in the lines of like if everything's even all the time, then we're literally just here doing what we do and that's it.
Yeah.
Like there's no strive to be better or anything.
It's weird how powerful that can be too. Just like creating an anime show
Mhm.
to embody something like that. Because I don't know who it was specifically. I don't want to misquote it, but it was a MLB player who was like, it had to do with some anime characters. Like I feel like I embody this because he just wants to keep getting better. He's selfless. It's like from a character,
Yep.
and you're a grown up, but you're enacting it kind of in your life based off of. But this thing was your inspiration.
Yep.
Like I don't know. That's powerful.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's tough to do
how it goes.
sometimes if you are at the top of the top, like the MLB players and stuff like
Mhm.
that, to keep motivated when you're like, I'm the best already.
Yeah.
But that's where they say, like, especially in the MLB, it's like now you got to the MLB, now you have to stay at the MLB.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
type of high level like that. That's the hardest part, is maintaining. But yeah,
I didn't know there were so many levels to getting into the MLB too. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
I think
that's
it's like
so
That's
crazy.
what's
9.
daunting. That's what makes everyone quit.
Yeah.
Or
9
that's what
levels?
makes a lot of people
I think
quit.
it is 9 levels, 7 levels, something like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Low
crazy.
A, high A,
So
single A,
crazy,
double
though.
A, triple
Like,
A,
Ricky
what?
Ball.
independent ball.
And then when your friends make it, it's like you made it through all the levels.
Yeah.
Like you did it.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. It's one of those things. They talk about it a lot now on podcasts. These
Yeah.
NBA players, like, if you don't love basketball,
You're not
because all the
get
other
out.
stuff that comes with it, it's like you gotta really at least love the game.
Yeah,
bro.
they don't broadcast that either. They really should.
don't.
They really should go like in depth and like
Bro, that.
follow a player's journey all the way.
Yep.
Would be
But
crazy.
then the media can't make these crazy shots at him. It's like the more that I hear these people talk about, like, hey man, like I was going through this whenever these guys were like blasting me on full blast. Like my mom had just passed away, and then my sister got in a car crash on the way to the game, and I had but no one knows that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had an awful game, but like it's almost like the media can't do their job if they know too much. So it's
True.
like if you know someone too well, you're not going to be able to say they suck. It's like
I mean, you could.
you
I
could
was to say,
maybe I
You
don't know.
could.
It's not
I
the
was
way
saying.
not the way you think. Because all right, let me swing it from you this way then. All right.
if they
So-
truly suck,
No. Yeah, okay. So let's do LeBron James then.
Okay.
okay,
So LeBron James, you really get to know him, and then he does something, but you're a media member. You have to be able to criticize him. But if you're too close to him and you criticize him, you burn whatever bridge it is that gets you that close to him.
well, why do you have to criticize them?
You don't have to. I'm just saying that's what the media does.
Yeah,
If he does
I
something
see.
wrong
Right.
and everyone
I
else
get
is
that.
doing it.
Yeah.
For example, I didn't necessarily get into it, but the LeBron China thing, whenever that was going on, there's been Kobe, different stuff like that. Then you have to pick sides. I don't know, like.
Yeah. No, it's a
Yeah.
thin line. That's why being like a journalist and it's
Cutthroat.
yeah, yeah, bro.
So cutthroat.
But moving on, you said, Miguel, you had something on 83?
Yes, on 83, a professional's work has style. It is distinctively his own, but he doesn't let his signature grandstand for him. His style serves the material. He does not impose it as a means of drawing attention to himself. I highlighted that one because it's like it's true that everybody has their own style, but like the people who really are good at what they do, they don't ever just let it be that. Like there's always something else to it. Like there's always something further. And at the last line, he does not impose it as a means of drawing attention to himself. So I took that as like you see somebody's work, you know that's them if they're that good.
Mm.
I don't know. I just like that.
Like almost like at artwork, like that was painted by
Exactly.
this artist.
Yep.
You can just tell in the details. Yeah, I mean, no, there's definitely some. It's almost like it can translate to anything, anyone's voice. Like you don't have to see someone to be like, oh, that's Michael Jackson, or oh, that's whoever that is, just based off of what it is. That's the only way. That's the only way to become like a true professional, or to at least separate yourself. I guess.
Yeah, leaving
To at
that
least separate
impression.
yourself, because yeah.
That's how you know you're a pro. Everybody just understands and they know. All right. And then on the next page,
84?
yep. The professional respects his craft. He does not consider himself superior to it. He recognizes the contributions of those who have gone before him. He apprentices himself to them. Yeah, and then this one, like they start going into the story of Tiger Woods and how he like hung out. See, I read.
He did. He's
But
beating the odds. He's beating
Tiger
the odds.
Woods and how he like.
It's like the first word on the next
Yeah.
page. That's
Yeah,
kinda cheating.
I was
No,
like-
no,
Like, they're
but
talking about Tiger
it's-
Woods. I'm gonna throw this in there.
Yeah.
It's literally.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
But the whole Tiger Woods story, like the fact that he's won so many titles in his career, and like he still continues to just like be mentored by people who came before him. Like there's people who have won around the same amount of championships as him, but he's still willing and able to be like, all right, I still have to learn. And I think that's such an important thing, is like being willing to learn even once you feel like you've mastered it, because that's how you get better, is just understanding that you don't know everything all the time, and there's always something out there that you can grow into and learn. So
Yeah, or just, even if you don't, like, just keep sharpening the axe, like, improving. Because, like, over time, like, you're going to get sloppy.
yeah.
You're going
And
to you're gonna have to.
And I feel like, I mean, you can see this so clearly, like because it says, he recognizes the contributions of those who came before him. I don't know about you guys, but like I cannot stand one, disrespect, but two, like disrespecting like older people, like people that
Yeah.
have been here longer. I'm not even talking
Yeah.
pranks. I'm just talking like actual like civil respect to an older person that's just been here longer than you, because it just feels like so many people grew up without that, without the ability to just like show respect in that way. But to translate it even more so, the greatest of the greatest always have that. That's why there's only so many people you can like say a GOAT or the greatest president, greatest whatever. There's only so many people. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks to us, because it's like these people probably innately had that in them. Like they were destined for that. So, I'm not saying like you want to follow someone else's destiny, but like you could read this and almost be like, if I don't have that, like, do I just not have that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I just not that way? Like, am I not really made to be able to reach that type of potential? Like, I don't know. That's a.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's destined to anything. You have to work for it. And I think like you have the same path to it, but if you're willing to work towards that path,
That's
you
what.
know.
And that's really
Obviously,
what it is. That's
obviously
really what
there
it
is a base though. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't throw a football, like
Right.
you're not gonna be Tom Brady. Like that path is just not even paved for you.
No, you're right, because it's there's multiple people that could follow that, because LeBron is one of the greatest prospects of all time, just since we're using that now. But like there's a bunch of people who could have been LeBron James who got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's
For
like
sure.
LeBron's the one that was able to stay out of trouble for that long, or Tom Brady was able to stay out of trouble for that long,
Bro,
or
that's so.
So there's
it's
so
like,
many.
you
like,
think about-
so many talents like that where about just like people getting into trouble about
Yeah.
that.
It's just one thing,
it's tough.
Yeah.
bro. I just hearing that, I just think of so many people from back home.
Oh
like,
yeah.
bro, playing at the park, and like you have your park legends and people at the gyms who are like legends there,
Who
but
shouldn't be there?
yeah,
They
who
should
should
be
not be
somewhere.
there.
They should be
Yes.
somewhere else.
But if
Yeah.
I bet if you watched your timeline back, you'd be like,
That's
Mm.
where.
right there,
Yep.
that decision
Yep. Yeah, bro.
that lined him up wrong.
It's unfortunate, but like there's just so many stories like that. People are exceptionally good at a certain sport or whatever it is, and they just make that wrong decision, and like that's just the sad truth. of it.
because there really is a difference. Like if you look at the work ethic of Kobe, or like even Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
Kevin Durant apparently forced a trade because they didn't practice hard enough. So it's
Wow.
like if you're not getting coached hard enough, like you're not getting that's the kind of stuff that goes on. Those guys are different. That's why KD is going to be able to be top 20 basketball player ever. That's
Yeah.
why Tom Brady's so intense, breaking iPads. Like that doesn't. He wants to break that iPad, right? So we're under the assumption that over the 20-something years of his career, he's kind of out there like operating where he needs to be. So it's almost like he's not being, what would you call it? I wouldn't even call it like a sore loser, whatever. He's just like, just competing. I look at that
Yeah.
as just pure competitiveness.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's not even like this guy's emotional. He needs to get. No one's gonna say that.
Yeah.
So it's like just reaching a certain level of like, this is where I need to be to operate. And if these guys aren't around me doing it this way, then I'm gonna Tom Brady retire. Then I'm gonna KD force a trade. Then I'm gonna do it like just stuff like that. If people aren't kind of meeting your expectations that you want,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. You know,
True,
it just
bro.
comes back to like the whole Goku analogy. They just want to be the they just want to be the best.
Want to get better.
They want to be the best.
And then everyone else just wants to get
Obsessed.
bro.
Obsessed
paid.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. Okay, so on 87, I also had another one. Evolution has programmed us to feel rejection in our guts. This is how the tribe enforced obedience by wielding the threat of expulsion. Fear of rejection isn't just psychological; it's biological. It's in our cells. And reading that, it's like, bro, one of the things that you have to learn along the journey of like going to where you want is like to not care.
Yeah.
Like you have to train yourself to just not care about what people say. We've talked about this multiple times, but reading that again just once again reinforces the idea that you just really have to do what you do, and whatever anybody else says, that's coming from them, and that's their reality, and that's what they think, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. So, but
And
it's crazy that it's like in us. It's in us to be like that.
and this is just crazy to me. These realizations, it's like, it's not even fair. It almost feels unfair. It's fair because we did the work, but it's almost feels unfair to be able to read this and have like a feel for it, as opposed to just not. As opposed to just being in the world and not reading a book and just like waking up and going about like before I started reading or before I started trying to do certain things, like I feel like my mind was full of a lot more just like
Noise.
Yeah.
what's going on, like
Yeah.
oh squirrel, or, like whatever, just like I'll just be outside, just like
a golden
yeah,
retriever.
but not even that, but literally, yeah, that's just like an exaggeration of it. But like, but then it's like someone will come to me with their problem, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, they'll say something to me, and I'm like, oh, their opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what's got you upset right now. That this person said that. I'm like, but then I'm like, well, that's dumb, but also like that their opinion doesn't matter. But if you can't get yourself to like the rejection part, the part that like, I mean, if we all could choose to have everyone love us, we'd probably choose that.
Yeah,
But since that's not an option, it's like you either spend your days understanding not everyone's gonna love you, or you have to be spending your days wishing everyone would. Like I feel like that's the two things that you're gonna do, because not everyone's gonna love you. So you either understand that, or you spend your whole day just like sad that they don't.
Yeah.
Sad that people don't.
You're not gonna win that battle of
Never.
like trying to please everyone.
It's
Yeah,
an
bro.
uphill climb.
Yeah, constantly.
All right. You got anything else, Miguel? I got something on 88, but
I got
Yeah, let's go.
92, so that's my next one.
all right. Mine on page 88 was the professional loves her work. She's invested in it wholeheartedly, but she does not forget that the work is not her. And I think that's like a big one, at least for me, is just like, yeah, not having the work absorb you. Like there's times when to shut it down and when to, turn it on. And I
Tough
think,
to know when.
or, yeah, well,
It
mine's
is.
when to turn it off.
Yeah,
tough,
I think-
exactly.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, constantly,
Yeah, bro.
especially right now. But yeah, that just kind of hit home for me. But
No, it's like not being absorbed by your work. Like this, it's a tough skill to master because you're constantly doing it. Like this is what we do. Like this is what we live out every single day. It's like,
Yeah.
how can we get better? How can we do this, and this? And it's a constant thing. But like, I mean, to your point, having to shut it off and like know when. These are all like skills that you have to learn.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, it gets rough. Your life gets hectic if you don't know how to set those bounds and like when to turn work off and how to separate those things. So,
And it kind
Yeah.
of feels like we're almost in like what would maybe be the early stages. Because I'm not saying that everyone who reads writes a book, but like the more that you continue to read and the more skills you continue to gain, like I always try and keep it in perspective of like somebody that wrote this book giving you the advice is taught when, especially when they decide to tell you that they struggle with it too, because they do. Just trying to keep that in perspective of like we are trying to master something that will never be mastered. So we're just
Yeah.
always gonna keep trying and
Right, it's a
trying and
balance.
trying. Like your best hope is to get 99% of your control or of whatever you would say your life control or something like that
Yeah.
is. Obviously,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can always be swayed. But
Well,
like,
yeah, just because like there's so many environmental things that you can't control. Like for
Right.
instance, like you're like, all right, let's say you work for yourself. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do 9 to 5, but then like 4 p.m. like you get a call, like something happens, and then you're like,
you
all
gotta
right,
go to the
I
hospital.
like,
yeah.
well, not even that, like work related, that makes you stay
Oh,
longer.
that makes you. Oh, that pushes your clock
Right.
back. That
Yeah.
pushes your clock back.
Right. That you
man.
just have to do because like that happened. And so yeah, it's all balance. But the other thing I wanted to read was 89. I wanted to hear your guys' initial reaction to that little passage that they said. They said, um, the author goes, I've been in a Tinseltown 5 years and have finished 9 screenplays on spec, none of them which have sold. Finally, I got a meeting with a big producer, and he kept taking phone calls even as I pitched my stuff. He had one of those headset things that didn't even have time to pick up the receiver. The calls just came in and he took them. Finally, one came in that was personal, and he asked, would you mind? He asked, indicated by the door, I need some privacy on this one. And I exited. The door closed behind me. 10 minutes passed. I was standing out at the secretary's. 20 more minutes passed. Finally, the producer's door opened, came out, pulling on his jacket, and he said, oh, I'm so sorry. I had forgotten. He had forgotten all about me. I'm human. This hurt. I wasn't a kid either. I was in my 40s with a rap sheet of failure as long as your arm. The professional cannot let himself take humiliation personally. Humiliation, like rejection and criticism, is the external reflection of internal resistance. What would your initial reaction be if this happened to you?
I mean, it wouldn't be good. But also like, but I'm not. But also, what position is he? Is he in? Mine would just be like, I'd be very sad. He said hurt. Like I'd be crushing. It's it's so crushing whenever you have the opportunity. I don't know if this was his. Actually, it was. It says a meeting with a big producer. So like, whenever you have an opportunity for something and you can see it play out,
Mm-hmm.
like like I've gone into job interviews where I could be there for 4 months or whatever, but like whenever you get older and you're like you're really pushing for what you really want to do, especially early on for your first few times, it's like I'm applying for this job in New York, and if I get it, I might move there for the next 8 years.
Oh, right.
Like one of the like those things. But if I don't get it, I might be in my hometown for the next 8 years and get this job and just stay there. So like whenever you get to those big decisions, to those big things, like it is a lot because you don't even realize all the behind the scenes and the stuff like that that's going on to get ready. Like recently, like getting more into my adult life, my wife like going on interviews and stuff like that, like it affects me just because I'm helping her and I'm prepping her and I'm seeing just different stuff like that. And then like you realize in the whole ecosystem, like that's just what's happening. Like all like not maybe not to the same degrees, but people are all studying, people are all getting set up, they're all applying, they're all not getting hired except for one person,
Yeah.
and then they're all doing the same thing like that again.
Yep.
That's tough. That is tough.
So you're.
I mean,
in short, your initial reaction would be not good.
No,
You'd just
I would
feel bad.
Yeah, no, I would feel sad because if you think that's your big break, like it's tough to pick yourself off.
You
the
wouldn't
mat
fight.
Like
You
that.
wouldn't fight for anything.
What, fight for more in that situation? Probably not. I don't know. That's not. But that's
Yeah.
not the way that I
Yeah.
necessarily am.
What about you, Miguel?
I think, bro, I would have left.
You would have left.
Honestly, because the way I look at it, the way I base a lot of my like.
You do have a
business-
rule.
How do they
Yeah,
value
it's
your
He
like-
does
time?
have a
Right?
rule. He has a 15-minute rule.
Yeah, bro. Like
I
if
should have
if
used that 15-minute rule on me one time.
Hey.
if you, I mean, most of my stuff that I do is always based on connection. Like if I can't connect with you properly and genuinely, like after that interaction, it's like, okay, like I can be your acquaintance. I can be, this or whatever to you, whatever you want us to be, but it's not going to go any further than what you think it's going to be. Like I have to have that genuine connection in order for me to continue to help or do something with anyone. So in that situation where somebody's like telling me, hey, can I just take this call? Yeah, go ahead, take the call for sure. But if the whole time I'm sitting there while I'm pitching my ideas to you, you're on the phone, you're not paying attention, those are kind of like,
That was mine. I was. I mean, if he asked me to go out to the hallway,
Mhm.
that's probably when I leave.
yeah,
That's probably when I leave. But like, I don't know how I'd be able to handle something
Yeah.
that big in my head where there's other things going on. It's like a deliberate smack. The only way that works is if it's like, I was testing you. We love you. You're hired. Otherwise, it's like, what?
yeah,
What?
no.
Yeah.
Nah, I just think like if we can't be on the same page with that, and I get all that stuff is happening at the same time, but it's like if you really want me here,
Right.
then and if this is really meant to be for me, then it's gonna happen regardless. So
That just sounds like a crazy like life. Anyways, that doesn't.
Yeah.
That sounds like the most important man in the world.
right,
Is
Oh,
Dos Equis,
right.
I
the
mean,
most interesting man in the world?
I mean,
is on the
there's
phone
going to
right
be
now?
opportunities like that. For instance, Miguel, you edit and direct a documentary.
Yeah,
You're in the boardroom meeting with Netflix.
right.
Then that happens.
I don't know. I
It
think
would be crushing for
Yeah,
sure. I'm not
yeah,
gonna. I
that's-
can't skip that part. I would be like, man, like
because
that
you're not
really
forgetting
sucks.
it's like
Yeah.
you're whatever you're. But we don't know that it's his dream job. It just says big producer. I
Yeah.
guess it was
But after,
Yeah, he was
I'm
selling
leaving.
his novel or something.
selling his novels. yeah.
I'm leaving. After 20 minutes, bro. Yeah. And you were talking on the phone the whole time. I'm out of here, bro. I'll catch you.
Because
Netflix who?
Yeah,
yeah,
like
because really the only saving grace there is like a flip 180. Like, hey, I'm sorry about that. Like, we do want you to be here. Because the same way, like I have a hard time working for people who don't value my time.
yeah.
Like if you value what I'm doing for you, I'll basically, walk a mile with whatever on my back for you. But
Yeah.
if you don't value it, like I'm gonna have an incredibly hard time
Yeah, I
not
can't do
making
it.
that known.
What
Yeah.
would you have done?
What would you have done
Just give us a
whenever you
quick
started doing it?
breakdown
Just
of
real
that.
quick,
Yeah.
quick.
If I
And then do you stick it out and do you
give him my 2 cents about it
For sure.
after.
so
would
you
be-
would just explain your feelings though, because you have to understand the separation of powers here. Like this guy's taking phone calls from everyone, and
Oh yeah, no.
You're
I mean,
whoever
I'd be
you are.
respectful.
Right.
And I'm not gonna be
'Cause you
like,
can't
listen
burn
here, like,
bridges,
what
right?
but I'd be like, hey, like, I'd sit there and wait and be like, no problem, like, let's reschedule or
Mhm.
something like that.
it sounded like he had almost forgotten, like was about to get up and leave though.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he was about to like. Well, so what
No,
you,
like,
you,
I
you
would-
would say, hey, I want another day to come back
Yeah,
again. You would
yeah.
just give it another go.
Yeah. And if it happened again, let's forget about it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
maybe the best way to do it. That's maybe the
probably is.
best. That's maybe the best way to do it.
I don't know, man.
It's messed up
It is.
to be, but it's a weird. It's just I don't know. It's apparently not a hypothetical, but it's like he had to ask you there. So for somehow you got on the schedule to get in the door, which means to
Right.
get on the schedule, he must have valued you in some way. I don't know. We may not have the whole story. We may be trying to
No, it's just
talk about something.
It's
that-
too many variables.
too many
to-
variables, but
But
it's interesting to see.
yeah, I was just curious to see what your guys' initial reaction would be. But I had something on 90 at the very end, and
Same.
it's the professional keeps his eyes on the donut, not on the hole. That threw me. I was like, I don't know where he's going with that, But then he goes, he reminds himself, it's better to be in the arena getting stomped by the bull than to be up in the stands or out in the parking lot. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was a powerful one, bro.
I was like,
honestly.
Like being in the arena though, getting stomped by the bull is like, do I really want to be here?
Hey, man.
But
you get through the fire,
Yeah.
and then the next time you get in the arena, you'll be
right, you get the praise of all the crowd,
exactly.
but also you get the stomp by the bull.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's tough. That was a tough one to like look at.
yeah. I think that's like getting through error, like getting through your mistakes,
Yeah.
getting through all that type of stuff. That's what I like interpreted that as.
That's all I had. You guys have anything?
I got one on 92. I don't know how much further you go forwards.
I'm good.
You go? Okay, I got one on
He's been
92.
highlighting as we've been talking, so don't worry.
It's okay. Hey, here's that Tiger Woods one you tried to foreshadow.
This
In
is
any
the one.
event, you must have skipped forwards. In any event, Tiger Woods, the ultimate professional, vented his anger quickly with a look, then recomposed himself and returned to the task at hand. The professional cannot allow the actions of others to define his reality. And that's like a lifelong thing.
Mhm.
Just because it relates to sports. They use a legitimate sporting analogy in this art book. So it's like no matter what you do, like your mentality has to be like the next is the best. Like bad shot in golf, next shot's the best. Bad shot in basketball, next shot's the best. Bad pitch in baseball, got to throw a strike. Like the ability, I wonder how much gets screwed up from those lingering feelings, just even in life. Like how much gets screwed up from my breakfast, like getting burnt in the oven, to my first interaction of the day, or the first phone call or first email compared to your first interaction of the day. Like the ability, because if you let whatever's affecting you affect your next move, then like you're gonna be a roller coaster all the time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, everything would need to be going good constantly in order for you to feel like you can attack everything good. So I just think that the ability to, like, if something goes wrong, just like 5 seconds, shut your eyes, somehow do it, and just like I've been doing that. Like I'll verbally say it if like me and Sam are talking about something, or like, okay, look, now we're done talking about it. Like just take a second. I know, like, harbor all those feelings that you're still gonna have. Just because you stop trying to deal with something doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It doesn't still bother you, but can you not let it affect your
Moving
actual?
forward.
It says define. That's the word I wanted to highlight. Can you not let it affect your reality? Because like we all got to live in the real world. So it's like, can you, even if it does affect you, can you not let it affect your reality?
Yeah.
Is the skill.
No, it is, bro. It
It's
is.
tough. It's super hard, man, because it's like those minor inconveniences, like
Yeah.
can literally make and break some people's days.
But and then a minor inconvenience posed instead of flushed can just turn into a major something. It's
Yeah,
like
just
it's just so it's one of those things. I mean, we're only on our third book. It's way easier said than done, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
man.
hoping like by book 10 we feel a little bit better about like being able to say stuff like, or me personally,
Yeah.
like,
But-
I'm assuming, but
Miguel, you said you had something on 94.
Where is it?
I
Yeah.
saw it, yeah.
94. Oh, it's just like, that's one thing I loved about this book is these small reminders. So it says she gets an agent, she gets a lawyer, she gets an accountant. She knows she can only be a professional at one thing. She brings in other pros and treats them with respect. And like the title of that page is A Professional Recognizes Her Limits. And it's so true, bro. Like as far as like delegating, being able to delegate properly, but also just knowing that whatever you're good at, like really, really good at, you can just stick to that, and then just surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Draymond said this the other day on a podcast. He was like, anything that you know, set aside and put a bunch of time to and invested in, if you work at it hard enough, it should pay you back full. Like pay you back way more in full. He's like, I invested hours a day of my life growing up into basketball. I could never do for basketball what it does for me now. So like anything that you invest all your time trying to perfect, whether it be editing, you know, YouTube, just different things like that, it should, like, the more you do it, the more it's going to to bring
It'll
you,
come back.
the
Yep.
more it'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think that was just like for me that was like don't spread yourself too thin, don't wear too many hats.
Yes.
If you can delegate, do it. And like I know one of our buddies he was having a tough time doing that about delegating.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him about Miguel and like it's been game changer for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I was like, look, man, like if you hate editing, just like you have another job, just use some of that money
Yeah.
and go get an editor because like
Because that's a tough spot to be whenever you don't love, all the
well,
parts
that's what
of the
we
process.
did.
So
You
it's-
remember that?
Yeah.
We were like, bro, like we're gonna need an editor, and then like you just happened to fall in our lap.
Yeah,
Miguel.
bro.
Like crazy coincidences. Like you didn't have to sit there that one day,
Yeah, bro.
but
Oh, that's so crazy.
yeah, if you
Just
wouldn't have sat
happens.
there that like
It just
week,
happens, bro.
wouldn't have met him.
Just happens
But-
like that, man.
Yep, delegation's key, but yeah.
On 97 and 98, this U Inc. part, I thought it's just really interesting because it's like, it's talking about how you have to like separate you into different parts as far as like the professional you and then like the person that's the artist, quote unquote. And it's like at the end of it, I wrote get your LLC because I don't have like, unfortunately, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it by the end of the year.
I can
Quote
help
me
you
on
out.
this. Yes, I have to get my LLC, but it just talks about how like when you have your own like LLC or business or whatever it is, and you have that to refer to, you just feel more professional in that setting, and in turn like you being technically in technical terms a professional because you have your own business, it just turns you into more of a professional yourself because now it's like, okay, I have a business. I'm no longer just the artist anymore. So I have to run both sides. I can still be both things, but now it's like whenever I refer to my business, like it's serious. So
Yeah.
And the benefits from that can be like internal and just like on like optically, like the
Mhm.
optics are good of just in the real world to have an LLC, to have a bachelor's. That doesn't mean you may never use it. You likely won't.
Right.
You likely won't. But I mean, having a bachelor's or a master's or whatever attached to stuff, it can make it look more professional, but it can also just make you feel more professional.
Yeah.
Like it can make you feel like, hey, this is my business. I'm a businessman.
Right.
So like compared to like, hey, I'm just like doing work. Like I'm just doing freelance work or whatever. If you can try and make yourself attach more value to it.
And I think that just if it helps your mindset in that way, then definitely get into it. So
We'll work on it. We're working on Miguel.
yeah, bro, we'll get it by the end of the year for sure. I don't
Yeah.
have any doubts of that.
Landon, you got anything?
My next highlight's on 108, so I didn't know where you guys were at.
Same, I'm on 108.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So I
fill
guess a few pages later, it translates into book 3, goes beyond resistance, the higher realm, and you're getting more boxes at the bottom. I noticed. So now you got three little squares. Last time it had 2. That's just a little side note. But okay, now we get on to book 3 or part 3, I guess.
Mhm.
We should have just done it in 3.
No, man. Some of these were long.
Yeah,
That's
that would have been.
That's true.
And,
Yeah, no,
there's only 3 parts in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It would have just been a 3-week book. I was saying it would have been. You stop.
It had
That
a
would have
week
felt like
off.
still nothing compared to 48 Laws of Power. But all right, so we got into book 3. What's your guys' first highlight? Where's that come from? Or book
I
3,
thought you had
part 3.
108.
I caught. Yeah.
I have 108. Is
Yeah,
that
I
you
think
guys
Mine's
have
on
it?
108
I think both of
too.
you do.
All right. My first one, or my one says, because the most important thing about art is to work. Nothing else matters except sitting down every day and trying. And it's talking about approaching the mystery from the section, but like, I think that's like consistency is key. You wouldn't see it this often if it wasn't a big deal. So just it kind of translates to inspiration strikes. Luckily, every day at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Whenever I sit down, it's like nothing else matters except sitting down every day and trying.
That was a
I think.
nasty line.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that
That
one.
was
too.
good, dude. That
yeah,
one.
I was telling Savannah about that. I was like, that was nasty. I was like,
It's like, oh man, like,
gross.
you work so hard. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I work when I can. It just happens to be every day that ends with
every
Y.
Right?
Yep.
Happens to be every day that
Yeah.
ends with Y.
Nah, I highlighted the same thing though,
Did
bro.
you?
Nothing else matters except sitting down every day and trying. That's literally it. I want to say that would be my quote of the day, but I have another one in store for y'all later. So
Oh.
I want to see that. Pull the quote of the day from the book. This guy's cheating.
hey, that was
Just
No,
like
it's
his
good.
that
reading.
would be a really good one, honestly.
You could have been doing that from the 48 Laws of Power. It had like
Yeah.
had quotes on
4,000
the
of them.
side, had quotes on the
Easy.
sides, line in the book.
But yeah, no, it's true. It's true. A lot of people give up just because they don't even try, like doing the 1%. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But you guys have anything else? I honestly don't have any other highlights.
No, I don't either. That last half of this was getting kind of.
The Muse.
It started.
I was
yeah.
like,
That's actually
where are we
good. So
going?
I had
interesting.
I circled
It's
one thing I
just-
wanted your guys' take on. So he gets to the end of it. He said, "Oh yeah, speaking of," he said, which brings me back to the Muse. The Muse, remember, is the daughter of Zeus, father of the gods, and memory, Mnemosyne. That's pretty impressive pedigree. I'll accept those credentials. That's what he's talking about. But he goes, "I'll take Xenophon at his word. Before I sit down to work, I'll take a minute and show respect to the unseen power who can make or break me." What do you guys think about this? About this way of thinking?
like the Greek god type of thinking, or
Powers that can make or break you. Just what did you think about that? Because I mean, if we're gonna take the whole book at its word, so I'm just trying to figure out what you guys' takeaway was from like this portion of it. Because
I mean, I didn't personally take too much away from it. I think it
Yeah.
was just like him like
I thi-
respecting a higher being.
Yeah, that's.
I think
and, like,
he did. He
And
did.
he's
try
been
to,
kind of
like,
doing that in like different ways throughout the book,
Mhm.
like
God, but not God. If you
right,
serve
God,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
very
Allah,
subtle.
whatever.
right,
Yeah.
sin, and bringing
Yeah.
that up. But like, yeah, he kind of threw me for a loop because I thought he was going like more religion route than more like kind of.
The
Greek.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when he kind of went through this, I was like, no. The only real cool part that I liked in this was when he mentioned, what was the street? It was it in where like the streets, there was like 7 blocks, and all the names of the streets were named after the Greek.
Oh yeah.
Greek-
But that was like at a place where he lived
Yeah,
and
where
didn't
he-
even
yeah,
realize
yeah.
it or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, and I was
He
like,
never
oh,
knew.
that's all I got
But
out of it.
but I actually had one thing at the top of 119. It says, "There's a magic to effacing our human arrogance and humbly entreating help from a source we cannot see, hear, touch, or smell." And that like just kind of goes that. But for me, I did take that as in, whatever your religion kind of turns to, there is something that just feels right about being able to I told him yesterday, get off your soapbox, but like just get off your high horse, just like humbling yourself and just like if you have I don't believe in the Big Bang, so like if we believe that we came from somewhere or something like that, do we have to believe that somehow we're all kind of connected? It talks about that a little bit of just like, we're all kind of searching for something. It even talks about you had a quote where it's like the reliance, like how we're almost innately created to be in a group, like to be together, to experience things together. So I feel like in that same way, if we're all connected somehow, like if we could all realize that, then we wouldn't treat each other the way that we treat each other.
Yeah.
Just in general, I feel like if we all, because the fact that racism exists shows that like there's superiority
Right.
amongst humans. But like if we're able to understand that all humans, if you believe all humans came from one thing or one specific type of something, then
Yeah, it's always gonna get messy because like like no matter what, someone's gonna be attached to something different,
Yeah.
and then whatever like the fallings are gonna clash.
Yeah.
So it's just like dealing with those clashes is where like I think people can work on like being less violent and just understand their point of view, even though you don't disagree, you can still coexist. Like it's fine. Like if you think I'm right, great. If you think
that's
I'm
basically
wrong,
the best version of what life would look like.
right.
Is like just a bunch of people who disagree getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's basically
Man.
Work,
if
hey,
only.
you gotta work to that.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta surround yourself honestly with people like that.
Yeah. For
Be
sure.
like, look, man,
For sure.
I don't I don't care about like how you vote every 4 years. Like, are you a
Right.
good
That's-
human?
Yeah,
like, all right,
exactly.
cool.
Yeah,
well,
but also-
bye.
Yeah.
Then the older you get to, you just surround yourself with more like-minded thinkers because your circle shrinks and you just start hanging around the people that you want to hang around with.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
start.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
doing
you
the
run
things
out
you
of
wanna do.
time. Literally, you can't hang out with 20 people all
It's
the time.
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
like, look, man, if I want to build a great relationship with Miguel, I can't only devote only 20 minutes a day
Yeah.
from him. Like, there's just no way. It's not fair.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
No, it's
that's
funny.
that's all I had.
It's funny because I just saw something about that online the other day, and it was like people put too much, people put too much emphasis on friendships nowadays. It's like we're all grown, we all have jobs, we all have separate lives, like away from the job, and then we have stuff that we want to do. So if your friend's not talking to you for 2 weeks, like it's not because they hate you, it's because they're going through life and they have to do things. So
Yeah, man.
it's just
feel that.
not the same
You need,
anymore,
yeah,
bro.
no, you need friends that get that too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my buddy. I was supposed to call him on Sunday. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
And I texted him. I was like, hey man, sorry about that. Like, he's like, it's all good. He's like, it's all right. I'm pretty busy too. He's like, I'm in Alaska for work. I'm like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
clearly he's not like sitting around waiting for me. Like, we're both busy, but like we both understand. Like, no matter what, like that bond is like
Yeah, it's there.
solid.
Yeah.
So it's regardless how long we talk to each
I
other.
mean, in reality, it seems like there's a whole lot of people doing a lot, or there's a whole lot of people doing nothing. And the people doing nothing all seem to hang out together and they have fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got plenty of friends that feel like are hanging out doing a whole lot of nothing.
yeah.
And that's fine. That's why it's always, hey, sorry guys, I'm not good right now,
Right.
but I'll try and get you next time.
yeah.
Like, we're all just,
Uh-oh.
oh, Kush, guest appearance.
Sorry,
I love that. Yeah, that boy's got a
Getting excited.
nose, man. He
Get
breathes.
excited.
He sounds like he's hooked up
It's
to
a reverse. What is it? Reverse sneeze.
It's a reverse sneeze.
Oh, the reverse
So
sneeze.
my fiance told me I'm not supposed to cover his nose completely.
It's one nostril.
It's one nostril and you blow softly into the other one.
I should have been telling.
Yeah, bro.
I should have been telling you
It's
that.
so crazy. I'm like, I've been,
Steph has some bad reverse
You've just been
sneezes.
clogging. 'em.
yeah,
You
just
just
holding
You
them
can't
up.
breathe.
Yeah, like,
He's just suffocating.
sorry, bro.
Gosh, man. What are
Yeah,
we
man.
doing?
That's oh, one quick question I have for you guys. I was thinking about this whole weekend because I've been watching Dragon Ball Z a lot, as you guys know.
same because of Miguel. You will be eventually too.
Dude, that is so
Ba-
funny.
It's on Hulu. Exactly.
Ba-ba-ba-da.
Exactly. It's on
Dude,
Hulu,
it's-
and they're like all episodes from like my peak childhood. But did you guys ever have like an action figure that you grew up with, like one
Yeah.
single toy?
Well, no, not one single toy.
What was your favorite one? Come here.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, let's see it in action.
I want to say maybe like G.I. Joe.
Mm.
Yeah, the GI Joe action figures.
I want to
Yeah.
say I had some G.I. Joe action figures.
Nice.
Transformers. I was big on Transformers, but
Love
I don't know how much that.
Transformers.
I don't know how much that counts. What were those things that were like the little? Maybe they were Star Wars toys. They were like little balls, and you'd open them up, and they'd like
They turned
Oh,
into the-
Bakugan.
Yeah,
Bakugan.
I was
Yeah.
big into that.
that was fun.
I was big into Beyblade.
Beyblade too. Yeah. So I had I remember it specifically. It was like the Super Saiyan 1 battle scarred Goku from when he fought Frieza. That was my favorite toy ever. And I had the Gundam.
Dude, I did not
the gu-
understand
the
one word in
special
that whole
Gundam.
sentence.
Yeah.
Not even
You
one
gotta
word.
watch it, bro. You have to see it. Like it's so crazy.
You
but-
said literally 6 words in a row
Yeah.
that did not even make sense.
Honestly,
to me.
I've like when I was doing work out there, like just doing like stupid work, and then like I would catch like me literally just watching it.
yeah, bro.
like,
when
I
you
was
were
just-
pressing the socks
Yeah,
the other day, you were
yeah.
watching like, okay. We have
Nah,
a
I,
cover.
did, I keep my I keep my anime to Archer.
Yeah.
I love Archer though. Archer was great.
Yeah,
You were
Archer's
see?
definitely
you were
great,
you
bro.
weren't there for that. He's like
Oh, he wasn't there for that.
no, he wasn't there for
Oh
that.
man, that
Bro,
would have been way funnier.
we were like streaming. We were streaming.
oh,
and then,
that was Slim Jimmy, wasn't it?
and, someone asked, "What's your favorite anime?" And like Jimmy like says like an actual anime or something.
Yeah.
It might have been Julia that asked.
Or anyway, yeah. Somehow we got on
Somebody
the
did.
topic where like we asked Landon, and he's like, "Oh, he's like I watch anime."
No, I did not. Actually, that's okay. Now I was gonna sit over here on the couch. Now I gotta step in. Unless you want to try again.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I was like, no, I don't watch anime. Because I don't watch anime. If I did say that, I was drunk. So I was like, no, I don't watch anime. But, you know, if I had to choose, I think the only thing I watched was Archer. And then
No, it was something like it was a lot more. It was a lot funnier because you're like, oh no, you're like, I've never watched anime,
no,
and you're
and
like,
then I was
oh
like,
wait,
oh wait,
no, I did,
that's what it was.
I did watch anime, and
that
then he was
was
like,
right.
oh Archer, and we're like, nah, that's
Archer's good. Though.
That's accurate.
I like Archer.
That's accurate.
yeah.
Much better on take 2. Because mine was a little underplayed. Yours was overplayed the first
yeah,
time. That was a sweet spot.
Yeah.
There.
But yeah, that
Alright.
was so. Anyways, that was it for the part 3. We're on part 4 now,
Starting
and
on
that's gonna be page
120, right?
122
Yeah, that's what I did.
120,
122 to 163. 2.
And it's
162.
over. And then next
That's
week
it.
we'll present our book for the following week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
We're back
For
on
the next
me.
month.
Got our book already selected, ready to go.
I'm excited, bro. I'm glad we really started this. And
We made it
like,
through.
We're doing it. Like it's nice,
Almost.
bro.
Yeah.
It's
I was
been
gonna
very
give you
nice.
next, but we got one more week and then make it through one cycle each.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
Miguel's probably already read the book, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh huh.
He said a little bit. He said I peaked at page 122.
Right, man. This guy's reading Cliff Notes at home.
I peaked at page 122.
But all right, next segment, we're gonna go into our short snippets. Who wants to go first?
Book Club Bros is a wrap. Let's start it off with our fun fact of the day. Kick us off, Chase.
All right. Fun fact of the day
What we got?
is
He's been on a roll, bro.
Yeah, it's had a few good ones.
all right. Here it is. Fun fact of the day: it takes 5 positive things to outweigh a single negative thing in your brain. Our brains have something called a negative bias that makes us remember bad news more than good ones.
Wow.
It's back-to-back weeks on the positivity thing. I think last week it was it takes more muscles to frown than smile, and now he's back trying to. That's some positive food for thought right
There
there.
you go.
That's crazy though. So you literally have to train yourself to think positively.
It's like
Yeah,
one
that's
bad rep means you got to do 1,000 good reps if you're like trying to change something.
Yeah,
you know?
5
Yeah,
more.
true,
Yeah,
true,
can't.
very
Hey,
true.
that's where you can't end on a bad make.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to end on a.
It's got to be a good one.
You have
It's
to
always
end
gotta
on
be on
5
the-
makes.
Yeah.
5 makes.
Either
Yeah, if you
5
end
or-
it-
You miss one shot, 5 more makes.
Yeah.
Chris Mullen back in the day for the Warriors used to he used to leave the
Bully.
gym, but after he shot the ball, the net had to flip over. If the net didn't flip up after he shot it,
that's
he would
sick.
stay in the gym and
Oh,
keep
that's
shooting.
sick.
Yeah,
That's an interesting.
one of the greatest shooters in the world.
Oh yeah, Mully's
Ever.
nasty. I love Chris Mullins.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
That was
I've
good
never
though.
heard of that.
I like that. That's crazy that you really have to train your brain to do these things.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's almost good to know.
Let's go
Yeah.
into my quote for today. So
What
I
of the
wanted
day?
to keep this trend of like moving forward, and I found this quote from Albert Einstein: "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving."
I like that. We've talked
Can't
that.
stop.
We talked about that a lot in the first book. It was like, how do you fight through the times where you don't feel like bettering yourself? Like
Mhm.
if you're in that rut, and that's when you feel your worst. You feel better when you're moving forward, and you feel awful when you're moving backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like logically, it doesn't make any sense to stop. Like if you're feeling
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
why would you stop?
And stay.
And
It's
in
just
that.
stay
your brain.
bad.
I just feel like it's your brain.
Yeah.
It's just like a moment of weakness.
It's a
Gotta
negative
be
bias.
a moment of negative
Yeah.
bias.
That's
There you
so
go.
crazy.
Right?
That's the thing, bro.
All right, give it up. What's our news take? Is it bad news, good news? I need 5 good.
This isn't
ones.
even actually. This is more of a. I'm switching it up this week. This is less world news, and this is more. I'm gonna present to you guys a scenario, and I want to know what you guys would do.
I like
So,
this.
if you could experience winning a mini game on any scene for like called $100,000, right? Would you want to do it at the Super Bowl and like complete a QB throw to win $1 million?
Oh, okay.
Would you rather make a half court shot but you still win $1 million at the finals, or would you rather throw a strike at Game 7 of a World Series? What type of sporting event would you want to be the one out there completing whatever the mini game task is?
Oh,
What NHL? You
Easy.
could go Stanley Cup.
easy.
Mm.
Super Bowl, for
Without question.
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
If I'm guaranteed to do it, for sure doing Super Bowl.
that is like the most highly televised.
But don't make it what the world would do. What would you do?
I think
What would you personally want to
I'm gonna
complete for
throw
you
a
getting the same
curve.
money no matter what? Whatever sporting event, it's just the final of that event. It's Game 7, it's the Super Bowl, it's whatever it is.
okay.
Wait.
Whatever sporting
My
event
mind-
you're going to complete it, what would you want to get all the adoration of, and what sporting event, and what would you want to do?
I'll probably still Super
You
Bowl.
still say
Super
Super
Bowl?
Bowl?
Yeah.
My mind's going to like I want to do like a game-winning play for some reason. Like I just want to do something like so. If I had to pick, I would do. I'm gonna have to go with the Soccer World Cup
Oh,
hit
like
the
what, like a
penalty
free
kick.
kick or hit a penalty kick? I like
and
that.
win the
That's
World
pretty
Cup.
good.
Just
Yeah,
because,
that's like on the same level for sure.
yeah, it's just something different too.
It's also more so
Something
what
completely out
sporting
there.
event would you choose to be center stage at? Like it's
Yeah.
like a get in free type thing.
Yeah,
Super
If
Bowl
I was
would
gonna
be
do it-
crazy.
that'd be wild.
Yeah,
like
Super Bowl
like
would be crazy.
kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
I think Super Bowl just
To win
because
it.
I would say Super Bowl just because it's the most. It's the one game sample. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
right.
like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. But then again,
Yeah.
oh god, Game 7, like it culminates all to Game 7. But I'd probably go Super Bowl.
All right,
Still going Super Bowl.
we'll go back. I want to hear it on the recording. We talked about this like a month ago, but this was with the whole submarine thing. But it was if you could go back in time
Oh
to
no.
any moment and you only have
history.
2 hours, what were your choices?
That's
against?
good.
Bro.
Yeah, at any
That's
moment
tough.
you have to witness. You can only be there for 2 hours. No, what was it? Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah, you get
can
to
go back
witness
at
any
any time, any event for 2 hours. You can watch any type of World Series game, any Super Bowl. You can, go to Einstein's lecture, whatever.
So my initial answer to that was
I got
seeing
mine.
seeing Michael Jordan hit one of the shots.
Watch the game. You can watch
Yeah.
the entire game. You can.
True.
You can just beam up and watch the shot and then go out to
But
dinner
I
or
don't.
something.
Now that I'm thinking
No, you
about
gotta
it, bro,
watch the shot and then go out to dinner with him.
I would.
Whoa, I don't know if you'd be able to do that.
I would have to. I'll have to go back to the Thrilla in Manila, just because it's my home country, Muhammad Ali, and just being able to see that in my home country at that specific time, that would be absolutely
Wow.
incredible.
That would be
amazing.
incredible.
I got mine, but I want to hear yours first. 'Cause I got mine. It's not what you.
Mine-
It's not at all what you think. You wouldn't guess it.
If I could be there for only 2 hours, I don't know. Give me. You might have to go.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
I would go watch the grandest concert put on by Queen. Whenever they put on the largest concert.
Wow.
Have you guys seen the Queen documentary?
I haven't,
The
but
movie?
I
The
know
movie?
about Queen, so
Dude, okay.
I understand.
Watch Queen the movie. It's one of my top 3-4 favorite movies. Amazing. They go overseas. It's after Freddie Mercury's been diagnosed with AIDS, with HIV. He's like one of the last concerts that he does. It is electric.
Yeah.
It is so
Bro, it's
like
Queen.
watching the movie. Like I've never been covered like with that much goosebumps. It's crazy. But I have a certain tie to music and like just whatever. But
I mean,
that moment, the
Motley.
unification there, the biggest concert, like that would be crazy.
That would be fun.
That would be
That
amazing.
would
That'd
be
be super
wild.
fun. Fun fact though, somebody did an editing breakdown on that movie. They said it was one of the worst edited movies ever.
Edited by, what do you mean editing?
Editing,
Breakdown.
Like actually,
the actual
like,
whoever edited
whoever
the movie.
edited the movie. Yeah,
Like-
and it's usually a team of editors.
Like they just
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
do much. Like they didn't clip it up well, or
I guess so. It's like some
Interesting.
of the shots in there were like out of order, and like you could tell like
wow.
Yeah,
Really?
Shoot, what
Bro,
if they
it
got
goes-
Imagine if they got it right. It might be my favorite movie.
right. Editing goes deep, bro.
It
If
really
you ever
does, man.
sit
There's
down
a whole
and watch,
psychology,
Yeah,
and this is like not even movie level. Like
Yeah.
even just like YouTube level nowadays. Like it's the clips and the cuts and timing and stuff, and we're just we're dipping our toes in it right now. But yeah, I'd
could
say
see it.
mine would probably be. I think it'd be really cool to see like the signing of like the Declaration of Independence or something like that. Like seeing like all of them.
everybody in the room,
Yeah.
that would be
I would, yeah, just because going back in that time, like if I could do, I would either choose something in the last 50 years or something like 100 something years ago,
Yeah.
like something that like
Or
You-
even like if I could really go back, see like dinosaurs.
that's. I was gonna say that too, but I didn't know where we were at.
Right.
Like dinosaurs would be
we
crazy.
got a time
That'd be
machine.
That'd be kind of wild.
See a 3-foot mosquito.
Dude,
Jesus
have
Christ.
you guys
know what?
watched the
Never
Meg?
mind, bro.
Have you guys watched the Meg? Yeah, forget that.
Yeah.
Forget that. Good thing that meteor came through.
Right.
Good
Oh
thing
my
that meteor came
gosh.
through. We would not be on this sofa.
But yeah. But no,
We'd be
I just
running from
wanted,
raptors.
wanted that on film,
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
on recording.
It's
But
on record.
That'd be
other than
good.
that, I think that's gonna wrap up the part 3 of The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This has been part 3 of the Book Club Bros podcast.
Book Club Bros, baby. We'll be
be
back
back.
next week for the completion. Read your last 25 pages like Miguel didn't. Come back and see us.
Till next time. Peace.
Oh man.